The goal of communication is to achieve what is called rasa swadana, that is moksha, which is man's ultimate goal of life and one experience release from ignorance. In this very good moment, I would like to thank congratulate Professor Muhammad for his hard work and outstanding achievements for almost 2 decades starting in 2003 in the field of communications. It is, of course, celebrated models of communication known as SMC, Sadharikaran model of communications, based on Indian classics, namely Natya Sastra and Bhakya Padira. Nonetheless, the SMC is displayed. Its finding has meaningful contributions to the works of communication and efforts to balance dominating Western theories of communication with Eastern perspectives.
We now have remarks by Professor Dr. Bogus Putu Suamba from the Politeknic, Negeri, Bali, Indonesia. He'll be joining us online.
Professor Suamba is a distinguished scholar from Bali, Indonesia. He began his academic career at the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education at Udayana University, Singaraja. He obtained a Masters of Arts in Philosophy from the University of Delhi in 2001 and later earned his PhD in Philosophy from the University of Pune, Maharashtra in 2012. In 1991, Professor Suamba joined the Bali State Politeknic as a permanent lecturer in the Department of Business Administration. His dedication to teaching and research is evident from his participation in various professional development programs. Notably, Professor Suamba translated Dr. Adhikari's article Sancha Yoga into a Bahasa Indonesia language and making it possible for Dr. Adhikari's model of communication to reach the Indonesian audience. Over to you, Professor.
Om Swastiastu. Namaskar. Good morning, everyone. Today I really feel glad I can be part of your seminar. And in these times, I would like to say some appraisals as well as some critiques on the system developed by Professor Adhikari. So, good morning all, distinguished guests, esteemed speakers, participants, ladies and gentlemen. We are coming from different cultural backgrounds, different countries. I see many of participants come from China, from Japan, and some of my colleagues also coming from Bali, Indonesia. I would like to extend my gratitude and thanks to the organizing committee, especially Professor Mala Adhikari for giving me the opportunity to share some views regarding the system he develops. I would like also to extend my gratitude and thanks to Professor Bola Tapa, the Vice Chancellor at my university, Associate Professor Eku Mayapun, Acting Dean of the Kathmandu University School of Arts, Chief Guest Professor Tiki Agarwal, the keynote speaker Professor Yositaka BK, guest speakers, panelists, moderators, all participants and comments. I wish from Bali everyone is fine and doing well under the grace of God. I'm sure that we learn a lot in this academic area, enlightened by the presence of distinguished speakers and, of course, share positive energy for the values of others. Professor Nirmala Adhikari is my good friend and has been with us for almost 7 years. To my knowledge, he is an eminent scholar and prolific writer in the field of communication from Hindu perspectives. Once, 7 years back, I invited him to present his views on communication from Hindu perspectives in an international seminar held in Bali, Indonesia. In this very good moment, I would like to thank, congratulate Professor Mayalitari for his hard work and outstanding achievements for almost 2 decades starting in 2003 in the fields of communications. It is, of course, a celebrated models of communication known as SMC, Sadarikaran Model of Communications, based on Indian classics, namely Natya Sastra and Bhakya Kabir. Nonetheless, the SMC is displayed. Its finding has a meaningful contributions to the works of communication and efforts to balance dominating Western theories of communication with Eastern perspectives. Its finding becomes the prize not only for Professor Adhikari himself and his family, but also for Kathmandu University, where he does his careers. Congratulations once again. Yes, I learned the SMC, and even wrote a paper in class and research on this. Many students came to me asking to know about communication theory from English perspective, which is hard to form despite the fact we inherit endless of sources on this. I agree that we have plenty sources of Indian classics as well as in our own traditions. And it is our jobs to study this, explore, and can give the system of communication theory based on our indigenous causes. After reading Professor Adhikari's writings, I would like to say some points as follows. The first one, how valid knowledge is reached in the process of communication, which is called here sanchara. This point, I think, is not yet well elaborated, even though the author discusses the vidya and avidya. Rather, the model discusses more on the states of sahidayata, of these sahidayas, that is encoded and decoded, which is none but rasa swadana. It is a feeling rather than a true and valid knowledge of Brahma. So rasa swadana is rich, is due to being successful in creating commons or oneness of both parties, encoder, Vaishaka, and decoder, Vaipaka, as a climax of aesthetic experience. The commonness is rich, is none but a feeling of rasa as the end of any process of communication. When true knowledge of vidya is said to be reached, it is a valid knowledge of Brahma. It is not rasa of feeling through either direct perception or chapsa, inference or anumana, or verbal testimony of sabda, or some other means of knowledge of Brahma. The SMC focuses on sabda only as the inputs of information by which the process of communication, sanchar, can take place. Brahma is used or operated to reach Brahma or valid knowledge, not a rasa of feeling. Validity of knowledge is addressed to knowledge, not a rasa of feeling, since it is changeable at any times when environment stimulates to access these changes. How can be proven a rasa of true knowledge, despite the fact, as Taittiriya Upanishad says, that the highest knowledge is rasa or rasa vaisa. So when feeling in the form of rasa swadana is reached, the question of validity of knowledge is missing. To know and to feel are two different things. Secondly, the goal of communication is to achieve what is called rasa swadana, that is moksha, which is man's ultimate goal of life, and one experience release from ignorance. This can be Jivan Mukti or Vedanta Mukti. Now it happens to common life, which is heterogeneous, sahidaya, cultural or religious background. How can this model be used to reach commonality in mundane life? In this case, we need to differentiate between what is called abhyudaya and nisrayasa, which has the later referred to by the SMC. The former still requires some kinds of models for explanation. This is imperative since life is not only mental or spiritual, but also secular. There are three dimensions of life, as Samkhya Dasana says: Adi Bhautika, that is physical or mundane; Adi Daivika, that is mental; and Adhyatmika is spiritual. The Adi Bhautika, physical or mundane domain is not covered, as I think, by the SNC. The third one, when this point can be clearly explained, we expect that the model can be used in social sciences, like in marketing, management, teaching, etc., which has been touched by Professor Yoshitaka Miki just now. So I think there are some points that need to be considered by Professor Adhikari when improving again the model. So I think it's all my brief presentation highlighting on the validity of knowledge. Thank you for your attention and the nice seminar. I'm closing with all. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Suamba.